did you blur out this thing with black marker?
We should be live.
You are.
We are live. Hi, Sophie. Hey. I'm doing the unboxing of my 3D printer. It finally arrived, so I am going live real quick. But yeah, there'll be a video on that. So let's flip the camera. Let's open this thing. Let's open it.
Start with the smaller one.
Well, I gotta start with the actual printer. So this is a big box. It comes in at like 18 pounds, and I hope I have. It eats up like the whole screen, but I'm hoping that we have enough room to kind of show everything that's inside. So I just got my 3D printer.
I did order the 3D printer days ago.
And I got it from Gear Best.
Can I mention one thing?
What?
Today is Yaya's birthday. Make sure you say happy birthday, because that's polite.
Alright, there we go. And here is the box the printer came in. And of course, this particular one came from Canada, so they had to open it and investigate the insides. And
can I play with that?
No. No, you can't play with it. I'm kidding. You can say stuff. I told my daughter Sophia that she has to stay quiet. But that's not true. You could talk, baby. All right. So I'm hoping that you can see everything that's inside. I know it's a bit of a close camera angle, of course, but as I was saying, this came from Canada, so it had to go through customs, and they had to take everything out and investigate it, and then close it back up and send it to me, and that's why it has the U.S. Customs and Border Protection tape on it. So this is the first time I look at this printer, and I could see several parts. I'm not going to take them out because I know that there's 3 layers in here of parts, but I'm not going to take all the parts out. I'm not going to take the parts out until I do the assembly video, because I don't want to lose anything. I just want to kind of show what all is inside. So a giant, or I should say a tiny bag full of tons and tons of screws. So these are all the screws that are for the printer. Of course, we have some data cable that is going to tie all the components onto the motherboard. We have some more cables, and looks like there's some plastic spacers that I have no idea what they're for, but I could tell that these are the X and Y, what do you call that? The stoppers or whatnot. I don't know the proper I don't know the proper name of these things, but I guess I should. But anyways, I'm pretty sure I will later on in the future. So we have a bag of those. We have a bag of screws, and then they give you a small amount of PLA filament. I guess you could get started. I ordered some filament online. I'm waiting for that to come in, but they give you that. And then of course, most of the 3D printer is made out of acrylic parts. So I'm assuming these are parts that will go in different places on the 3D printer. So we have some of those. I think this goes on the front of the printer, but anyways, this is acrylics, or acrylic pieces. You have a power cord, which it comes with a power supply in here, but I went ahead and bought a different power supply that I will be attaching this to. and I'll show you that box once we're done with this one. This looks like the tray, the actual aluminum stand in which the heat bed, which is right here, goes attached to, and it moves around and all that good stuff. I will be doing a modification to this right here. I don't know yet if I will, or if I'll solder the cables directly onto this or not. I don't know yet, but that is one of the modifications that they suggest I do. It already comes with a tape on the heat bed. This is an aluminum heat bed, and then of course this will eventually waste out and you can peel it off, and then you could use regular painter's tape on this. So we have that. Looks like we have some more data connectors, and we have some tools. So we have some really nifty nippers, looks like, or just some kind of cutting utensil, if you will. We have a screwdriver. We have a smaller screwdriver, some Allen keys, and a wrench. So it looks like that's the first layer. I'm gonna put this back. Put this back the way that it was. And like I said, I'm gonna try to keep all these components together during the unboxing, because I just want everything to stay in order. But I should be able to lift this tray up and reveal the second layer of parts. So let's take a look at that. All right. So here in this layer, looks like we have some fans. We have a fan and a heat sink and all the components for a small fan. Looks like there's a USB data cable. So maybe perhaps you can load your G-code directly from a computer. I don't know, but we'll keep that there. These are the belts. These are all the belts that control the print head. We have a small USB drive, and it does have micro SD right there. So I'm sure that'll be able to transfer G-codes that way as well. And there we have it. And like I said, I don't want to start taking everything out and spreading it all over the house. But so this is the again, acrylic pieces. This is the main part that goes this way. I know it's kind of a bad angle, but you get the idea. You'll see more on the assembly. Alright, and then from here we have some components. We have the ANET motherboard. So this is the motherboard, and basically all of those data cables that we saw earlier connect here. You got all your motors, Z, Y, and X motors. You have your extruder. There's the fan, the blower, the hotbed, the extruder, the power supply, and of course the cards and your LED screen, your end stop. Oh, that's what I meant to say. Those other wheel things, those are the end stops. So you have your X end stop, Y, Z, your hotbed thermistor, and your extruder thermistor. I'm assuming it's thermometer. So of course, inside the box, and I'm actually surprised it's a small motherboard, but it does come in a protective bag. So this is grounded, well grounded, and this is for the A8 2004 220 by 240 millimeter. That's the printing capability of my A8 printer. So not bad, not bad. That's gonna go back in, and we'll put that in its in its little spot right there. Looks like this right here is the display. So it's like an LED display. Let's see. It was snug in there. So this is the ANET display. It's a control screen. It has the model number right there, A2004. And these are all your controls. So you have up, down, back, menu, and enter. And that too comes in its own protective pouch. And it has very tactile buttons, which I already knew about. Sometimes tactile buttons drive me a little bit crazy, but in this particular case, I do want to know that I am pressing certain buttons to calibrate certain things. So I'm happy about that. So we have that, we have the display, we have the motherboard, we have the main components of the printer. We have a fan, we have belts, we have a USB drive with a micro SD, we have a USB cable there. And let's take a look at the last layer. I'm gonna carefully try to lift it up and let's expose the last layer. Alright, so of course here we have a ton of hardware. I'm assuming this right here is the extruder. And it is. It's the extruder right there. The nozzle is there. Of course, this is pretty beefy. This is pretty heavy here. And that's probably why they put it at the bottom. We have the Z motor. We have another Z motor, Y motor, and X motor. So those are all in there with their components. Looks like we have the fan for the extruder. That's going to go there. We also have these plastic pieces that is basically to move up and down these steel rods right here. So we have two of those. Looks like we have a 3D printed piece. So I'm assuming this is the cooling system for the extruder, and that's going to go there. I already have plans of modifying this to a round fan. It seems to provide a little bit more, better performance out of the extruder. So we have a little fan. We have a 3D printed part already, and that's going to go there. The fan is going to go there. Then, of course, we have all the rods that go along with the printer. Those are the rods that go along with the printer. And we have some more acrylic pieces. These acrylic pieces are, of course, all part of the 3D printer. I could already see the top part where the display mount is going to be. There's also a lot of these. They give you a lot of cable management, little snake things or whatnot. But I will be printing out a different system to replace this. So I already have a few modifications in mind, and I have the files and stuff like that of what I want to print. So so you'll see another video of that. This is the mystery box. I don't know what's inside here, but I'm assuming it's gonna be the power supply. And I was correct. Alright, so there you have it. This is a 110 volt, 220 volt. Here, let's do this. Hopefully there's no reflection on that. Alright, there we go. It is an S240-12. So 12 volt, 20 amp. Of course, made in China. It has all the proper safety seals on it. You connect everything back here, and it's all well labeled. And this particular power supply, the only problem with that is that you would attach the power cord from the first layer directly to this. So if you wanted your printer on, you would plug it into the wall. If you want it off, you would unplug it from the wall. So what I did is I went ahead and got a different power supply to give us a bit more power. I'm going to be printing out another adapter piece that goes at the bottom, and it has a switch that I could use a standard plug to turn on and off the printer rather than unplug it all the time. So those are a couple of just features, like safety features, that I was concerned with when it came to this sort of printer. I haven't seen any instructions whatsoever, but I have read online and I have been told that a lot of the times the instructions for these printers are actually on the USB drive. So once I'm done with assembly, I will be taking a look at that. So there you have it. It's all 3 layers of the ANET A8. So it's all 3 layers. This is the bottom layer, and I'm going to put them all back as I took them out. And then I'll show you the additional pieces that I bought from Amazon. So the printer on its own, I got it at GearBest, and it was about $150. Free shipping. I got it within a week, I want to say. It was really, really fast, but that's pretty much it. And I will be assembling that real soon, and I'm happy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way and then show you the stuff that I got from Amazon. So here is the package from Amazon, and basically what I did is, like I said, I bought a MOSFET board, which is for the hotbed. That way it doesn't burn out the motherboard. I also got the new power supply that's inside here, and also the switch that I will be using instead of just plugging and unplugging the power supply or the printer itself. So I kind of felt like that might be a little bit better rather than constantly just killing your printer. I don't know. Seemed a little weird. So we have air, and more air. And now that we got that out of the way, this is the plug and of course the on-off switch that I'll be adding to my printer. Right there. So you have a standard plug. You have, of course, a fuse, which makes me feel a lot better, because if anything happens to the electricity, of course it won't burn out the printer. It'll kill that fuse before any damage happens. But I got that. This was like $2. And then of course this is the heat bed power module, the MOSFET. It is in here. And it comes with all its cables and connectors, but these are the 2 MOSFETs right there, which I'm happy about. And I want to say this was about $8 or something like that. It was like $14 altogether. 14 or 16, something around there. This is the upgraded power supply. So as you can tell, it is a lot more beefy. So this is a big old power supply. One of the cool features about it is that it has a fan, and I'm happy about that because it'll keep everything nice and cool, to where the previous one did not have a fan. So this is of course the 360-12, and it has all of the safety stickers on it. The same connections happen the same way. The only difference is that now you'll be attaching this switch right here to this power supply instead of just a straight cable. So so far those are the modifications or things I've purchased for the modification of my 3D printer. So a different power supply. I got a switch, and of course the heat bed module. So I'll be adding this on assembly day. And of course, there you have it. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit subscribe. That way you know when I go online. So the next step is, of course, assembly. All right, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.